And welcome back to the Spring League Champion Show here on IEMG. We had several swim teams win league championships this year. On the girls' side, it was San Gorgonio bringing home the San Andreas League title. And what was remarkable about this season for head coach Olivia Hart and her team was that they're building a brand new aquatics facility at San G, which is great news. But the bad news is they were on the road all season long for all the meets, all the practices as well, and they still brought home a league championship. And now join us here on IEMG, our very special league champion show celebrating our spring league champions, your San Andreas League champions in girls swim, San Gorgonio, and we've got Coach Olivia Hart. We're going to talk to Adela Padilla as well in just a moment, but Coach Hart, congrats on the league championship. When you look back on this year, Coach, what was special or unique about this year's team, would you say?
Thanks, Pep. I would say really what's been most interesting about this year is that since our pool is being remodeled and we have a brand new aquatics complex, we've been performing at Indian Springs High School for the last year and a half. And so, performing at Indian Springs, being away from home, it's just been, unfortunately, challenge after challenge, but every challenge we've been able to overcome. And for this year, our class of 24, we had a lot of senior leaders that stepped up, like Adela here, and really pushed through those challenges and really wanted to make something of their team this year. And so it was only natural that they came home with that league title.
Well, Coach, perfect segue. Real quick, let me ask you about the new aquatic center, the new pool. I've seen some graphics. I think I even saw some video of the pool being filled up. How excited are you for this new facility?
I can't even put into words how excited we are. We have been looking forward to this new pool. Like I said, we've been away from home for a year and a half, and we're just so excited to be back at home at San G, being around our family, our Spartan family, and just receive that support that hasn't necessarily been there for the last year and a half, just being away from home. But it's a beautiful facility. We are so grateful and thankful for the district to provide us with the new facility. But we're ready to dive in. We're ready to jump in and get our feet wet, most definitely.
Let me talk to Adela as well, a captain, team MVP for San Gorgonio this season. Adela, what was that like, being, I guess, road warriors, if you want to call it that, right? I mean, going, to Indian Springs, which is your home away from home, or going on the road to swim in someone else's pool. I would assume even practices, right? You got to pack up at school and take your stuff and go somewhere else. I mean, was it a challenge this season, and how did you guys rise to that challenge?
Honestly, it was very difficult, like having the motivation to show up to practice every day because taking the bus was just so draining for all of us. But we all just picked each other up and we were like, come on, like, let's just get this done. And when we got here, like, we would just work very hard and, like, just roll through practice, get everything done and over with so we could come home early or we could, like, change fast and everything like that. So I would say it was very difficult, but we pushed through.
So, Adela, for you and your teammates, did it really show you who loved swim? Because if you don't love swim, you're probably not going to go through all that, right?
Yeah, most definitely. There were some people that would like come and then some days they wouldn't show up, but there was always the people that were dedicated and would show up every day. And those are the people that really, well, that came through in the end and got their league titles in the end.
Let's talk about that team league title for the girls squad. I saw that video from Indian Springs, you guys celebrating, jumping into the pool. I think Coach Hart might have been in there as well. I don't know if you guys threw her in or she jumped in. But Adela, what was that moment like, knowing all that hard work and maybe some of the challenges that you guys had to go through not having a home pool? What was that moment like when you were able to clinch that league title?
It was a very emotional moment because a lot of us have been on this team. For me, I've been on this team since COVID. So my freshman year was COVID, and it was very difficult, but we ended up getting league my freshman year. But it was a very different league back then. And now it's just like we had to go through a lot of challenges and we had to push through very difficult teams. And this year, seeing the team just grow so much, that moment was just like the best thing that happened to us. It was just mind blowing, especially since it was my senior year. It was just even more emotional for me.
That's awesome. Adela, let me go back to Coach Hart for this one. Coach, Adela just brought it up. She came in as a freshman, and that was that kind of a wacky spring season in 21 where we got some, high school sports in. And I know that league title obviously meant something to you guys, but I know a lot of people would put like an asterisk, on that, 21 season. To win it this year, does it feel like, especially for Adela being a senior, for that freshman group that was, all 4 years working towards this league title, did it feel maybe a little bit different this season, you would think, for those seniors, including Adela?
Yes, absolutely. So when Adele was a freshman, I was actually an assistant coach under Coach Duran. And so I ended up taking over as head coach her sophomore year. So I've been able to work with Adela as an assistant coach her freshman year, and then head coach her next three. And to know how hard they worked and wanted to come back into athletics during COVID, it was just a different feeling, and it was a different motivation. And then her senior year with this league title, the motivation was different. It was different for all of us. Like she had mentioned, it is draining to get on a bus every day for practice and every day for meets, and to be on time and to not have that time to go see teachers after school, or having to be late to family events after practices. There was a lot of sacrifices made. And so I feel that going into swim this season, it was just, the motivation was different. There was just so much more behind this win. It wasn't I think we can do it. It was, we want it and it's ours. And the girls completely went for it.
Well, Coach, that's a perfect segue. I just want to piggyback off kind of what you just said, that, this freshman class, they come in during COVID, and then they've got, the new aquatic center being built, which is awesome. But for them, it's hard because they're going on the road for everything. What do you think it says about the dedication, the perseverance, all those sorts of things about this year's team to follow through and get that league title? I mean, because there's a lot of obstacles there, but they didn't let that stop them.
Oh, yes. I would say it is going to be different for the teams coming through, because they didn't have to, like you said, they didn't have to go through the struggle. But with the senior class, the class of 2024, I was able to encourage them into go different aspects. So like Adela here, she's also a lifeguard. She has an interest going into coaching in the next couple of years, but also continuing her playing water polo in college. And it's more so than just winning league titles, and it's more than just a brand new facility. It really comes down to is building these relationships with these student athletes to ensure that what meant the most to them in this time is going to project them in their future. So experiencing what Adela did this senior year as winning a league title for swim, and how emotional it was, and how much hard work she put into it, and how much it motivated her, I'm really hoping it carries with her through every aspect of her life moving forward, not just in college, but in her career, in certain family situations. And that's what athletics is all about. So I just have to say, even though we do have this beautiful brand new facility coming through and coming off of this league title win, it's really about the relationships that we're building in the family we're building within our aquatics program.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Coach Hart. And yeah, sports kind of mimics real life, prepares you for real life as well. Adela, I'm curious though, so what's next for you? You want to swim at the college level?
Yes, I want to, well, I don't know if Chaffey College has swimming. I'm not sure, but I know they have a water polo team, and I do want to play water polo in college, and that's my biggest goal as of right now.
Well, listen, if you can go through everything that you have since a freshman, and still come out as a league champion, that's really awesome. Coach Hart, listen, I really appreciate the time. Congratulations on the SAL crown this season. And I know there's a lot of trials and tribulations, but when you come out on top, I would assume it just makes it a little bit more sweeter. Is that safe to say, Coach?
Absolutely.
All right, that's Coach Olivia Hart from San Gorgonio Girls Water Polo. Adela Padilla, she was one of the captains, the team MVP here in 2024, here on our IEMG League Champions show. Congratulations. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Great job, Sanji. When we come back here on the show, we'll go to the boys' side of swimming as we check in with the Pacific Pirates, your Mountain Valley League champions. We'll be right back here on the Spring League Champions show on IEMG.